we've got my dusty, musty, crusty GameCube back out here because, I mean, you know the title of the video already. We're going to be adding Bluetooth to this GameCube. This is a brand new controller port board that has a swappable battery thing in it, which is good because I never swapped the battery on my controller port, and it has Bluetooth built into it. We can either plug in just normally with the controller, or we can connect 4 controllers via Bluetooth. It's pretty cool. But the only downside for me specifically is I have LEDs in my controller ports that light up when I turn the console on. So unfortunately, I'm going to be getting rid of that today. Honestly, they don't get that bright, so it's really not that big of a deal. It's fine. Man, this paint has seen some better days, but I don't think I ever put a clear coat on it. So I definitely did this very quick and dirty. And yeah, that's a 3D printed power button because I broke mine. Anyways, the worst part about having a Game Boy player and being a tinkerer is having to take this off just to take apart the shell. I have to unscrew this. But I guess before we do that, the only thing that this comes with is this battery's pre-installed. Everything I believe is pre-installed. Maybe the ribbon cable I installed off camera, I don't remember. But just comes in this little thing of bubble wrap, and it comes with a USB micro SD card adapter with the micro SD card in there, and it's got the application instruction manual and operational video on it. If you watched my video on the Ultimate AliExpress PS2 that I did a couple months ago, this is the same mod essentially, but for the GameCube instead of the PS2. And it also came with a USB stick that had an SD card in it. And I feel like it's probably safe, but I don't like sticking random SD cards into my computer or USB drives for that matter. It's like scanning random QR codes. Also, the sun decided to come out right now. Good for lighting, but bad for editing. It's like scanning every QR code you get. It could be bad. You never know. But anyways, TBD on if I actually plug this into my computer. Let's tear this apart. We've got our 4 game bit screws for this, and lifting it up. Boom. If you didn't know, I put a USB-C power mod in here a little while ago, and I have a pretty old, by today's standards, GameCube mod where I have Swiss on here, and that's how I run Swiss on my personal GameCube. It is not any better or worse than Pico Boot, but mine definitely heavily relies on my disk drive, and there's really no point in me modding it any other way at this point in time because it all does the same thing, just differently. So I just leave it. Here we are. This is my wild mess of LEDs that I soldered in here for the light up mod. You have to unplug these. We should be able to just pop this out like that. We put this off to the side for a minute, and then we can pop off these 2 screws. I don't think I ever made a, did I ever make a video on this? I don't remember, but basically just stick LED resistor and wires to the controller ports, bing, bang, boom. I feel like there could be a easy like ribbon cable mod that does this so much better, but I don't really care about it anymore. I think I'd rather have this mod, even though I'm like mixed on this mod in general. We'll talk about it in a minute. I think one of the lamest parts though about this is that the battery is a CR1220, significantly smaller than the CR2032, which they probably had room to put in here, but it's all right. Now I get to special order a battery when this eventually dies. Oh man, this is interesting to line up. Okay. It doesn't line up perfectly. This is slightly concerning. Like it does not line up well at all. Let me get this GameCube cable in here. Okay, I can still plug it into controller port 1 or 4 and 1. It's just gonna rub a little bit on the edges. It is not perfectly spaced. It actually kind of reminds me, hold on, of this other mod that yeah, it's like even this is better spaced, but the this is a mod for the Switch that I did. It's with a controller port adapter for the like Wii U or the Switch, and they aren't perfectly spaced like the GameCube ports actually are, because it doesn't really matter. But this is like even more off than this one was. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of important to nail the spacing on this, but I guess we'll see in the long run if it's a big deal or not. I mean, even the screw holes are off. But let's see. Yeah, the the screw head goes down on the board. Okay, so that might be an issue. This screw head is gonna end up touching this like resistor. Oh, maybe no, it's definitely touching it. Okay, the tighter I screw it down, the more it goes away from it. It is just barely missing it. Okay, this just still feels wrong though. Okay, and that one I eventually got the screw through to just over that. I don't know. Okay, there we go. I fudged it enough that I could get it over the line. But I mean, you can see just how close it was, and you can maybe even see the scratching on the solder mask there from me trying to screw it in. But oh well, this isn't the most quality product so far, but we still do have a little bit more to go because this needs to get power, more power, I guess, than what it already asks for. So what we need to do is we need to unplug this, which is the power that goes into like the power board and then comes back up through the motherboard. We need to attach it to this and then plug this in to the console like that. Actually, not too shabby, but we need to find a way to be able to route these cables, which there is like a kind of sort of cable routing thing over here. Let's start with these wires and then we'll add these wires. There we go. Okay, that's all routed. Now we can plug this in. Probably should have plugged this in first. And then, boom, just a little bit more cable routing going on here. Don't mind me. I think this is going to be a little bit harder for those who have Pico Boot, where their Raspberry Pi is plugged in here. But yeah, I think it's fine. This needs to stay down in this area, though. So let's just stay in your lane. And hopefully we have no issues putting this back on top. Always remember to lift your lid. Have your lid open when you're closing this stuff back up. For GameCubes more specifically. Ooh, okay, we might have some clearance issues here because the shell kind of goes in this area here. I think the problem now, I don't know if you are going to be able to see it or not, but the little reset tab in there, that white reset tab, is getting in the way. There we go. Okay. I just had to like put the tab arm, I'll use this one as an example. I had to put the bottom of this reset button on top of this little lever arm, and then I was able to close it down. There's still a bit of a gap here. There we go. Okay, now we can plug these back in. And then I'm not going to screw the Game Boy player in quite yet because I want to test this stuff out. But theoretically, now I can use a wireless GameCube controller or any wireless controller without it being a Wavebird. I've got this Handheld Legend GameCube Ultimate controller that is mostly made for the Switch, but it works for so many different consoles. And I can just plug it in with this USB-C to GameCube adapter and play it wired, but theoretically, I should be able to use this wirelessly now. Well, I need to adjust my clock settings, my calendar settings. So for now, I'm just going to plug in this GC Ultimate controller to the, I gotta be holding right on the D-pad as I plug it in, and then that should put me into GameCube mode. Sweet. And it is not January 15th of 2040. I would be knocking on 41 years old then. That's kind of crazy to think about. Anyways, almost forgot what year it was for a second. And yes, I'm on an old version of Swiss. It's because I don't have a way to burn a new version of Swiss on this disc. Okay, I guess there is some drawbacks to the mod that I have. Sue me. Actually, I might have a way to burn this. Anyways, first thing I want to do is go to the GameCube controller tester. And cool, the analog triggers do work on here. Rumble work, and okay, both of these bumpers just pull up as Z. That's nice. D-pad work, and the sticks decent enough. Cool. Wow, these are really sensitive triggers. I'm like just resting my finger on it on left and it's at 20. But okay, now, so to get this controller into pairing mode, we have to press and hold B while I turn it on. And this, I believe, is in pairing mode because I have nothing plugged into the controller port. So as long as this doesn't connect to the computer before it tries to connect to this, then it should connect. Still not connecting there. Okay, let's look up how to do this. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is by High Speed Edo. That's what I remember finding out in the end. I do trust them. So I'm crazily enough going to take this SD card and plug it in my computer. All right, you got to see this. This is insane. There's so much to this that I didn't. I guess it's just like showing you how to do all the different controllers, but this was just a lot more than I was expecting. And it's so zoomed out and it's so tiny. Okay. Up to 4 Bluetooth controllers can be paired at once. No soldering. Yep. Okay. Okay. Reset button based on, okay, new functions based on how long you hold down the reset button. Hold for 0 to 3 seconds will perform the same action as the stock console. Okay. 0 to 3 seconds, you will reset your console. Makes sense. Holding 4 to 6 seconds, it will disconnect all connected Bluetooth controllers. In this state, all 4 front port LEDs will be slowly blinking. Hold for 7 to 9 seconds will enable pairing mode. In the state, all 4 front port LEDs will be blinking faster. Holding for 10 seconds or more will factory reset to the original firmware and remove any custom configs. Hold the reset button while powering on the Bluetooth. The blue retro adapter will be in sleep mode and will not interfere with the console. Okay, so if you have like one of the blue retro adapters, which is just like one Bluetooth for one port, I don't know why you'd have both this mod and that you can hold the reset button as you turn on the console and then all the Bluetooth functionality will be disabled. Cool. I believe wired controllers just override Bluetooth controllers, period. So, okay. So I couldn't get this to connect. So let's try a PS4 controller or the DualSense. Putting this into pairing mode. Blink, blink, blink on the console. Now the PS5 controller's blinking and we connected. Okay, cool. So if we swap back to this, we can see full analog trigger support. And it's the buttons are in the Switch layout. So X is A, square is B, triangle is Y, and X is circle. Oh, wait, no, that's not. Oh, that's weird. Okay. I feel like triangle and circle should be switched. But technically, I mean, on the GameCube controller, Y is on top, X is on the side. So that does make sense in my head. But the thing is, with this console specifically, this is kind of my rule of thumb for like emulation and stuff. I won't really emulate consoles unless I can use their controller for emulation or something similar to their layout. So like PS5, like any PlayStation or almost any Xbox console. The original Xbox, I'm like on, but I haven't really done much original Xbox stuff yet. That's all like a basic controller layout anyway. So I don't really care what controller layout I use for that. I don't want to use a regular controller for Wii games. I want to use a Wii remote and nunchuck. I don't want to use a PS5 controller for a GameCube because you're telling me that this is the same? No, this layout is so different from that. Same thing goes with N64, NES, and SNES. I mean, it's pretty basic, but still, like I like the feel of the original controller or like the original way to play it. So I don't see the need for Bluetooth here unless I can get this to connect, especially because out of all of my consoles, I own the most GameCube style controllers. What I can do is I know I can connect Joy-Cons to this, and I have some GameCube Joy-Cons, so I could connect those to this and use a GameCube controller that way, but then that doesn't have analog triggers, that specific controller that I'm referencing. And this one does, and this is like probably the best GameCube controller I now own. So it would be nice to be able to use this wirelessly with my GameCube. But then again, I got the cable that I could just plug it in with. So I don't know. Why is it not focusing on my face? I don't know. It really likes the back of my. There we go. Anyways, it seems like there's a lot to this manual, and I have not gotten any viruses from plugging in the SD card, so I think you're safe. But then again, a lot of the stuff you find on the SD card, like the instructions, as well as the PDF guide that I just had pulled up, this is all in the description of this listing that I'll have linked down below. The only thing you'll need to get from the SD card is this app, which again, I don't understand why they don't just link to this exe that you could download. I don't know why they have to give you an SD card and an adapter for it. I don't know. But the configurator, I'm guessing, is just for firmware updates and being able to map your buttons however you want, which for me, I don't really care about because who the heck is using a PS3 controller with the GameCube? Honestly, DualSense, DualShock 4 makes sense, but a DualShock 3? Really? I mean, I don't know why you'd want a Joy-Con, a single Joy-Con, because I don't know if you can actually get both Joy-Con to connect. I didn't even think about that. And then like a Switch Pro controller, like it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like you don't have analog triggers there. Who the hell wants to use a Wii U Pro controller nowadays? I don't know. So again, it feels weird to me. I feel like you should be using a GameCube controller for GameCube games, but for those who just want a wireless controller experience, this is $50 and you get all 4 ports Bluetooth or wired, however you'd like. So I guess it's cool. I mean, it is cool, but yeah, I really want to see if I can. Oh, wow, this really got offset. Hold the phone. Check this. That is way off center. I know it's kind of hard to tell because I have black on black here. Can I plug this in still? Yes, I can, but I have to like forcefully push this over to get it to line up. Interesting. I have to plug it in partially and then push it diagonally downward to get it to actually fit in. That's so weird. And then it really wants to hold on to it. Yeah, I don't know if this is worth $50. I think if you really, really want Bluetooth in your GameCube, get one of the Bluetooth controller port adapters. And like, yeah, I guess if you're wanting 4, then you could like it would be cheaper to get this instead of getting 4 of the single controller adapters. So I assume those are at least $20-25. But it just, I don't know, man. I don't know how many times I need to say it. I just don't think this is the console that you use random controllers with, because the controller is probably the most special thing about the GameCube, other than you got the lunchbox handle, making it a portable console. But yeah, that's that. I don't really know where else to go with this video. I mean, as you can see, the controller works and it works well, and the analog triggers still work on the DualSense, which is great. And there's a whole list of controllers that you saw already that work with this thing if you so choose. Let's see if I can get the GC Ultimate to connect to this. I don't know if somebody at Handheld Legends watching this video and wants to drop some knowledge on how I could maybe connect this to this, that'd be great. But yeah, it just gives up. Okay, yeah, I give up. I don't know how to get this to wirelessly connect. That was pretty much my only hope for this. Okay, I'll try one more thing. Can I get the NSO GameCube controller to wirelessly connect to this? Okay, I'm gonna follow the Switch Pro controller instructions. I'm gonna hold this and it's dead. Of course it's dead. Son of a gun. Okay, it's charging and putting it into pairing mode. It does not look like it's gonna connect, which I don't even think you can connect this wirelessly to anything other than the Switch 2. So yeah. Okay, well, I tried. I'll charge this up a little bit more and try it again later once it's not plugged into the computer. But yeah, my hopes for this thing are dwindling fast. So if you want to use a Switch Pro controller, PlayStation controller, or an Xbox controller with your GameCube, you can get this for $50 and use all 4 controller ports, or you can buy a single adapter that'll do basically the same thing, or you can just use wired GameCube controllers like God intended. And if you like Pikmin, you can buy this shirt from me, retroremastered.com.